Hello, 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 and welcome to another stream. Today we're going to be taking out the CRJ. So we normally have everything all buttoned up, ready to go, but it's a little short on time, so struggling a little bit on time. But I wanted to make sure we got off at 9 o'clock, like I said we would go into. So bear with me, might be a little bit longer before we get taken off here, but get everything going and be departing shortly. So a couple things set up here. Be ready to rock and roll. So how's everybody doing today? All right, good, good, good. That's what we like to hear. So let's get some of these screens popped out. The FPS take a hit. So got a new overlay going on. Hopefully everybody enjoys that. A little bit more details about the flights. Dang, what's going on? So just getting everything set up here. So right now I just got the A2 flipped on, and I didn't even do anything else. Didn't even get any lights turned on or anything like that, which go ahead and the weather flipped on here and we'll turn that on during the day. No one likes to stream at night. So, all right. Well, we can go ahead and get some things get going here. So we'll turn on our begin. Not yet. And turn on our lights and our logo lights. Now let's go ahead and get that on. Just follow the checklist that we have here. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That's why they make them, right? So gears, strings, good. We're at 0. That all done. Switch on. It's FMS. Let's get that set up. So I have already got the FMS somewhat set up a little bit, but we'll go ahead and get it finished all the way. So today we will be in like 5-4 1 1 or 1. Oh, it's because I didn't put it into download the flight plan. So we'll go ahead and do that. Right, so a little bit of technical difficulties here. Pull up SimBrief, get a flight plan going here. Flight lines 141, starting KCVG, and we are going to KCLT. Doing the Aerosoft CRJ with the fuel factor of +10. I always take plenty extra fuel. I like to have extra fuel. Do 8 extra pounds, 1,000. It's good. So generate OFP. Let that go. Go to here, refresh, and download that directly into it. So we've got all that done. Go. So we should be able to do this KCVG, KCLT, and execute. There we go. So let's go ahead. Make sure that we've got the fuel turned on or fuel on, ready to go over here. Have our OFP. Hey, what's going on, Whitey? How you doing, buddy? Glad you could join us. Just getting everything set up here. Getting ready to roll, getting the OFP. Normally I have all this stuff already set up, ready to go, but running a little behind today. So here, that out. We want 6,000 or 846. Fuel we want. Our block fuel is 1178. So we'll round that up to 12,000. There. Set payload and simulator. 19.6 and 6.8. I'm going to set flaps at 8. Flaps are set to 8. Set all. All right. Might have to pull a little doohickey because I deleted pushback toolbar, so we might have to do a little finagling here. So we've got all the, sure we've got the FMS completed. Archers on arrival. Keen 5. Running runway 18. That's right. It's going to be the flips 3. ILS 18 left. That's good. Fixes, make sure we got our, let's go 2 legs. Make sure that we don't have any discontinuity. Age, got Sky. That one's a duplicate. This looks to be good. So that secondary plane we don't need. VNAV to worry about that right now. So index good there. Fix we don't about that. Go ahead and change the McDo to VNAV so we can see what our VNAVs are going to be. And it's all good. So FMS is all set up. We're ready to go there. Oh, the Phoenix panels. Oh, that's what you were having trouble with. So yeah, so the panels that I gave to you, that I should sent you the link to, those are only good for the fly-by-wire. Those are not good for the Phoenix. The Phoenix is just ones that I've taken and kind of adopted to fit the code. I have those, but those aren't actually public. But I could do you a solid and send you those Phoenix instruments if you want. Help you out a little bit. So today we're going to be flying with any ATC just for the fun of it. since I was so late getting everything set up. I don't have that pilot to ATC set up. And check to see if there's anybody online. We could maybe fly that sim. That could be kind of fun. Done that, flown that sim many a times. And wouldn't you know it, it's usually the way it is. Looks like we've only got ATIS for that, so we won't be flying on VATSIM today. And that making a custom mount for my Bravo to go under the desk. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I kind of can show you how mine's set up here. I gotta grab the camera real quick and kind of give you a little tour. Don't know how. So I've got my Bravo set up right there, right beside me. And I've got my overhead panel on a 27-inch monitor. I've got the iPad mini set up right there. 2 touch screens, and then my 50-inch goes up there. Then I've got other screens in an iPad mounted here that uses all my charts. So that's kind of how mine is set up, to kind of give you a little bit brief idea of how I got mine set up. So I'll have to take a picture and maybe pop that up at one of the streams. Maybe whenever we get up in the air and get up to cruise, I'll set that up and show you a picture of how it's all set up. So all right, so let's get back to the checklist. And tie skid, we're not going to do any of the checks or anything like that. Flaps set for takeoff. We are at flaps 8. Need to set our trim to 6.8. Here's 6.8. So if you look in the top right screen, you can see where that sets. And thrust reservers, they are armed. Let's go ahead and arm those. Those are armed. Let's double check that. Sim, they are armed. And flaps for set to takeoff. TCAST. Go down here. TCAST. It's on standby, auto, traffic on, it's on auto, normal, test it, working. All right, so we'll just go ahead and squawk 1200.
TCAS system test OK.
Squawk that. That on standby. There we go. It's all good. Damn, it's all good. Got the braking brake is on. All that's good. Good. Laps are set to 8. Nose wheel steering. Die skid is on. Steering's over there. Down. That. All right, let's make sure ground equipment is removed. And she is. So we're running on the AP doors, passenger signs. We'll go ahead. Passenger signs, go ahead. It's on. See, lights are on. Landing elevation is set. Don't have to worry about that. Yeah, we do. Gotta get that set. So let's get that pulled up. I am just all sorts of stuff right now. So show full screen. Landing elevation for them is 896. Over here to cabin landing elevation. Turn that till you get to 896. So I did a flight one time in the CRJ, and we took off and went to, I think, where was it? I think it was El Paso. And oh my gosh, you want to talk about, having to switch this, turn this knob so many times. Oh my gosh, it was so much. FMS is set. Let's get that. EP to runway. We're going to be departing for runway 18 left. Go back to Air Manager. I don't have the Knobster selected. MFD. Knobster A. FD is Knobster B. I had them switched around. There we go. So we'll be departing 8. That's cool. Get that fixed. We'll release this. 8. 20. Go ahead. Let's check. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the compliment. It's been a work in progress and been going. How do you like the overlay? Good. Yeah, knob turning is a pain sometimes, especially whenever you're having to do the stinking landing elevation. Some of those elevations are forever. Just making sure we get ACARs all set up. We are doing this for American Virtual Airlines, greatest airline there is. I love that airline. I was a little nervous about joining and didn't really know what to expect, but the guys are really laid back. They're really cool, and they will definitely help you out if you have any questions or anything like that. So it's always nice to be able to have someone that can help you out like that. So, all right, so going up to 33,000. All right. That's going to be a pain in the butt because I'm going to have to turn all these by hand. Sim. Knobster is acting up, so going up to 33,000. So that. So yeah, good thing we're not flying with ATC because that would have stinked to try and figure that out. So on the fly. So all right, let's go ahead and get the engine started, and we're probably just going to take off and not even get a pushback. Just rock it that way. So. Oh yeah, you like this plane? Yeah, this is a good plane. I love this plane. This is was the first plane that I started flying for the virtual airlines, and so, but it's been a really long time since I've flown it. I mean, it's probably been 2 months now. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people that I see on stream, they do a lot of the Phoenix and the PMDG. So maybe we can separate ourselves here a little bit and create a channel flying some of these regional flights. So let me get one more thing pulled up here and then go ahead and get ready to go here. All right, so we don't have too far to taxi, so go ahead and get engines fired up and we'll be good to go. So beacon on, strobes are on, and we'll go ahead and turn the hydraulics on. So those are working. So man, so I had to redo a hard reset of Windows. And whenever I did that, I lost all my Air Manager panels and everything. So I had all this stuff working, but it's been that long since I've flown this plane that I don't have it. There's some code that needs to be changed for all this stuff to work. So, all right, so we'll go ahead and start the left engine. Got the fuel on. Boost pumps are on. Wait for the 12% into, 20% into. Once it gets it 20% into, we can go ahead and introduce the fuel. There's 20%. I think that they're even still set up. Calibrate throttle. That could be a little iffy. We'll have to see on that. So, all right, back to watching our engine gauges. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. The 737 Phoenix is by far the best airplane that's ever been released for any flight simulator. I mean, it's terrific. It's fantastic. All right, so we've got a good engine start on number one, or left engine. Now I'll go ahead and start the right engine. Watching our engine gauges up here. Sorry, right here, watching that for 20%. Once that gets to 20%, you can go ahead and kick in the throttle. There's 20%. She comes. Circulate fan on. Turn our probes on. Wheel steering is armed. Get our windshield heat on low. We're good there. We go ahead and stop our APU. And we go ahead and start to taxi this beast. Parking brake doesn't even anymore. Jeez. Nothing seems to work in this plane. Go back and get it all fixed. You know what I forgot to do? Close. All right. Now I bet we can move. There we go. And we'll just take out the buddy here. We won't put that on stream. We'll just act like they weren't even there. There we go. Now we can take them out. Go ahead and turn our taxi lights on. But yeah, I think I'm going to get back to, since we designed all these panels that you see on the screen is the ones that I designed at SIMSTRUMETATION. Me, Rob, and Crunch. build these for Air Manager for free for everybody that would like to use it. Air Manager does cost a subscription. So, but just want the community to have stuff that we use. So we use them for ourselves. We build them for ourselves, but I like to share the love. So if you're just joining us or haven't been able to check us out, go check us out. We are on Discord. The Discord link is in the description. So also there is a description if you don't have Air Manager or not sure exactly what it is. Feel free to click on that link and go check that out down there. So, but yes, I am going to be getting a livery for Plain Sight. I'll have my own livery for CRJ and the CJ4. So once I get those done, then we will do some flights. It's not for the virtual airline, but most of the flights that'll be on this channel will be virtual airlines, just to show how fun it is and what the capabilities are for to be able to fly. I do run absolutely 100% max settings. Only thing I don't run max is the load. I run that at 200%, just because I can run the load at 400%, but whenever I pop out a panel, as everybody knows, that the FPS cuts in half. So it really goes from 60 down to like 30 whenever I pop out a panel. So I can run 30 frames per second on the ground here. Most 90% of airports I can run that with max settings. So my PC specs are in the description. Yeah, I just have one Air Manager as well. You don't have to have multiple AirPlay Air Managers or anything like that. I use Space Desk to connect my iPad as a monitor, so it just uses CPU power to use it. So yep. All right, we're here. Normally we'd be getting requests from tower to take off, but we'll go ahead and put on our landing lights. Seatbelt signs are on. Everything else is good. Cass, check the packs are off. Let's go ahead and turn the packs on. Get up here and get stopped. Packs are on. Emergency lights are on. Seatbelts are on. Takeoff config is okay. And reversers are armed. So good to go. So we can go ahead and roll on out to the runway. Head into Charlotte. And final looks clear, so good. I have actually flown into this airport in real life. It's a fun airport. I flew in here on a twin Aztec. Some buddies up to Cincinnati. Some family members that live here in Cincinnati as well, so. All right. Runway, so things good. Let's go ahead and pull her up to 50%. Engines are stable. Go to max thrust. There's 80. And 100. 120. 40 and rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Nation on. Slow back to climb detent. Climb detent. Go ahead and take one notch of flaps out. Stable, so we'll go ahead and take the second notch of flaps out. set VNav. And let's see if the speed's working. Speed. Maintain and keep building that speed up to 200. 240 knots. Beautiful bird right there. Take a snapshot of that. Zoom back out. Alright, picked up a 24-inch HP all-in-one touch PC. It's works perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, any touch will work. I use the WiMax. Those seem to be pretty affordable. 15.6 inches, so I like to get a couple 20 inchers. Turn our speed up. To about 260. Jet. Alright, so climbing through 8,000 feet. Let's go ahead and get the checklist out after after takeoff checklist. That going. Indicators up, flaps are retracted, fuel flow on manifold good, thrust reversers off, and lights. See, we're through 10,000, so we'll go ahead and turn off all our lights. And passenger signs as required. We'll go ahead and leave the passenger signs on for now. So, and we are on our way. Yeah, any touchscreen will work, man. It's very nice having a touchscreen. Past the 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and start getting up to 270 knots. Build that speed. Starting our turn now, back to Keeneland. And so now I'm getting all the arrivals and everything programmed into the FMS. Let's go to departures and arrivals. Let's go back. Arrival is going to be Flips 3. Flips 3. And which transition do we got? It was Scott. Let's 3-6 center, and we'll do the Solomon transition going through 18,000 feet. So hit our standard barometric pressure. Solomon just for now. Execute. So there we go. So now we've got 3-6 according to live weather. So that's what they suggest is the best. Yeah, iPads work well for touch screens. I have two iPads that I use myself, a 10.2 inch, and then also use a 7-inch Whitey, so any iPad will work. Plug on the TV. So, all right, so got everything good to go. Once we get up to 33,000 feet, we will pull her back into cruise. It's one thing that's doesn't stink about this, but this aircraft you have to manage your own speed. So I think, oops, this aircraft you don't manage your speed, and so you have to do it all manually. There's no auto throttles in this thing. So, all right, man, take care, buddy. We'll see you here in a little while. So yeah, these are air manager panels, and yeah, a couple of them are screenshots, but we'll get all that figured out and get that all the graphics switched over, everything else. So, all right, almost at our cruising altitude. It says that we're going to go past 3,000 feet. But I think that's the bug of something that's 1,000 feet off. I think we'll level off at 34, according to the overlay. And we are direct ISAM. And our altitude has been captured. Once it's captured, we'll go ahead and slowly speed up to 200. 0.80. So let's start checking to see when we come down. So FIA will be at 270. And first page, there we go. Zero. Our cruising altitude.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now serving sandwiches.
Go ahead and turn off the fasten seat. It's a no smoking sign. Fasten seatbelt sign. Turn that off. So we'll wait for our top of descent. Go ahead and sync up our heading bug. Second half. So we can turn back on course. No sense in flying nowhere. Thanks for joining. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you hopping along with us. Yeah, so I really miss this airplane. It's been a while since I've flown this airplane. Not too many people do a lot of streams with the CRJ, but I really enjoy the CRJ, so I'll have to start flying this plane more often. I think it's a little bit trickier to fly. It's a little harder to fly. You don't have auto throttles. Don't have any of that stuff, so flying direct to Nazim. After Nazim, we've got Comedy. And just coming into Atlanta airspace. Alright, should start our left turn as we're starting. Beautiful Kentucky and Tennessee. Well, out there. So let's go ahead and look at our performance. VREF is going to be 139. Set all. Get all that set up. Then we'll go back through and have to set up all of our throttle settings and all that stuff because it's not right with all of our detents and everything. So kind of got a little off course there. Turned a little too soon, huh? That's the only bad part about doing a stream sometimes is whenever you get up in the air, you got really nothing to talk about. But soon we will finish up the CRJ. All these panels will, the overhead is pretty much done and ready for download on the SIMSTRUMENTATION.com or our GitHub, which the SIMSTRUMENTATION.com does take you to GitHub. The link is down in the description as well. So, but that overhead panel is good, and we're working on finishing up the other instruments, left panel, the blower pedestal. So I'll just kind of give you a little tour. Only thing we got left to do is this stuff over here, which has already been designed. We just need to import the graphics, and then all of these panels here have been pretty much designed and ready to go. We have this done, we have this done, we have that done, this done, that's all done, these are all done, parking brakes done. This is the same instrument as that, so that's all done. Those three, that one's done, these are done. I still need to get these knobs done, these, that's all finished up. So I just really just got this one. And it did it to me again. So what it happens is my iPad for some reason disconnects from the Wi-Fi, and then and then I have to reconnect it back to the Wi-Fi, and go back into Space Desk and turn it back on. It's a pain in the butt. I don't know why it does that. It's something that I'd like to get figured out, but as you've all noticed with Microsoft Flight Simulator, that things don't always work the way they're supposed to go. So you can get it fixed and pulled back up here. No problem. And that one go to not that display. And there we go. Now we're back to normal. So, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now. So just need to finish up some of these other instruments, and then we'll get them up on the GitHub for everybody, so you guys can check them out and use them. So hopefully everybody enjoys them. Hopefully they don't have too many bugs and they work well for everybody. But all right, looks like we can try and start our way down. Start pulling back the throttle and slowing her down. Start our descent. Set our altitude down to 6,000 feet. Turn on our fasten seatbelt signs. All right, I think we got a good, nice, stable descent. This is 121.15, or we'll just look at our chat for weather here. So air is going to be 3001. Go ahead and turn that up to 3001. That's set. Landing elevation is 748. So let's go ahead and get that set. Go to 760. That's all good. And get the checklist. Make sure descent landing elevation is done. Fuel, we've got a total of 8,000 pounds. Right now we're burning about 2,000. We'll be at plenty of fuel. TCAS as required. We've already got that set up. And radar, terrain, we've got that. And our CAS checked and cleared. We don't have anything on there, so we're good. And landing data is set. So let's go into our performance. It's not there, so let's go to landing data. I guess you don't have to put anything inside the FMS, so it's nice. So landing data is set and checked and done. So we are good to go, good to roll. Let's take a look. Approach. And we'll be flying the localizer. It's 111.7. Let's make sure we've got that put in. And seven. That then have do auto 7. And we've got that set up. Running landing, we've got 10,000 feet of runway. Approach course is going to be 003. Got all that set up. First approach is going to be climb to 3,000 into the CL Charlotte BOR to Tommy and 15.4 miles DME and hold. Alright, so we will hold there at Tommy, which is 15.4 nautical miles from the Charlotte BOR on 001. We need to do that, which looks like a pretty clear day, so we shouldn't have to. So our final approach course is going to be, final approach fix is going to be Glassy, and our minimums are going to be 907. So let's go ahead and get that set up. Decision height. Oh my, forgot about that. They've got to do something about that because that is just god awful. Screw that. You're not setting up. We'll just remember, do it the old school way. 907 feet. So get to 1,000 feet above. We'll call out minimums. So go ahead. That all good. Go ahead. Put ourselves down to 6,000. All right, made it back just in time for the descent. We're starting our descent, getting pretty fast, so we'll go ahead and pull back on these throttles. Far back. We won't have such a steep descent. We'll do about 1,800 a minute. That should see where that ends up putting us out. And just get the approach briefed on the actual arrival now. We need to be at Ginny at 19,000, which we are just above that, so we'll go ahead and slow that descent rate down just a little bit more. Get us slowed down here. A little bit more manageable, 280 knots. We need to be at 270 knots by the time we get to Lips, which is coming up, so we'll go ahead and slow down. Nearest altimeter is 3012, which we have 3001 for Charlotte. As we're coming into Charlotte here, so start slowing us down. We're below the 270, so give it just a little more throttle. Maybe keep up about 60. About 60, see what that does for us. 260 is pretty good, so do a little bit more zooming in here. So we are just on the descent on the arrival, flying the Flips 3 arrival. We are arriving at Flips now, which is 270 and 16,000, which just above that. So let's go ahead and slow our descent rate down just a little bit more. 1,500 feet per second, or 1,500 feet per minute. 15 feet. That'd be some serious G's. I think passengers would be throwing up all over the place if we did that. Alright, so our next one is about 20 nautical miles away, A down. Need to be at 250 knots, so we need to slow down just a smidge. And we'll go ahead and get our speed bug set for 250 as well. Zoom out. Our 250. Yeah, I had messed up with some of the angle in the cameras whenever I was flying the A320s around, so we'll get them all set back up, and I think we'll be doing this plane a lot more often. Like this airplane, panels, we built them all, so nice to showcase what we can do. Yeah, so Whitey, I built mine. I have you can go to any local hardware shop and you can purchase a 2 foot by 4 foot. It's basically a 4 by 8 sheet of plywood cut in half, and I used MDF, and I built my simulator in front of my TV, and that's basically kind of how I have mine set up. So let me see if we can't level off here at 10,000 feet once we get up to it. So yeah, Whitey, I'll send you a picture in Discord of what my simulator setup looks like, just so you kind of have an idea. Don't have to follow it, you don't have to do any of it, but just so you kind of have a little bit of an understanding of it. So coming up on 10,000 feet. Set that in there. All right, got the throttle introduced just in time. At about 230 knots indicated. So we'll just cruise along at this altitude here, 10,000 feet. Kind of get ready for everything. There you go, Whitey. I just sent you a picture in Discord of, because I have it on my phone, not on my computer, but that's basically kind of my setup that I have set up. Monitor. It's in the way, so I get a mount. Yeah, I mounted mine to the wall. I got a TV mount that mounts to the wall. Then I just slid my cockpit right up to the underneath it and measured it out to where it fit perfectly where the top of my cockpit goes right to the bottom of the TV, so it's pretty seamless. And then put in some LED lights. So we're at 10,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and turn the landing lights on. Let's double check our approach. Sparrow is set, lights are set, passenger signs are on, so we're good. Spoilers are retracted, APU after landing. Approach. Before landing, passenger signs, thrusters are those armed. Landing gear is down and flaps are set. So we'll start getting some of that stuff set up here in just a little bit once we get a little bit closer to the approach. No sense in doing that, so localizer will be tuned. All right. That's good. The localizer will be tuned. Actually, if you zoom in, I don't know if you guys can quite see, but pretty much almost see the airport. Still good. Well, let's just see. Oh, we're probably about 25, 30 nautical miles out. Airport. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no worries. I just thought I'd send it to you. I don't have the picture of my cockpit on my computer, so maybe that's something that I need to set up something. But so, do you like the new logo change, Whitey? Switched up my logo and remade something a bit more gamey, I guess you would say. Yeah, the delay that whenever you guys post something in chat, the delay is really about 60 seconds. So whenever you post it on there, if I don't say anything immediately, I apologize. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it, Brian. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you checking it out. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much. So, all right. So let's go ahead and start our way down to 9,000. At the you guys are here at the end of the stream. Once we land and get to the gate, I'll play the intro again. Need to create an outro. It's signing off. So got 6,000 in. So let's go ahead down to 6,000. Start slowing her down. Try and get down to about 200 knots. That's Charlotte right out in front of us. In an awe of what? So to go to our plates, and we need to intercept this about 4,000. So let's go ahead and set our altitude bug for 4,000. So let's go ahead and set it to 2,500. That's where we're going to intercept the approach course at. Wish this stinking mouse thing, I had to use the mouse to do this. Wish my Knobster was working properly, but another problem for another day, right? And we'll go ahead and give 1 notch of flaps. Speed check is good. Crazy stuff. Yeah, well, dude, I'm just a graphic designer, man. I am zero brains of the organization. That is Rob and that is Crunch. They are the ones that design or tell me what to do, and I just design it and say, here you go. And they need this switch done this way. They need this graphic done this way, and I just make it happen. So I appreciate you saying that. They do some pretty cool stuff. So yeah, I appreciate it. It's I've been doing this been flight simming for about 10 years. So I started getting into flight simulator when I first started taking my first flight lesson. So it's been a work in progress, that's for sure. Down to 180 knots. Go ahead and introduce 8 degrees of flaps, slats. Our speed, we're going to go ahead and set our speed bug just so we can keep an eye on it. Set that down to about 140 where we shoot the approach at. There's 140. I have the graphic, so if you look on the PFD, which will be your top left panel, the far left thing that the Knobster is actually hooked on, that is actually a screenshot that we took from the airplane just to get it, start programming it so Rob could start programming it, but I have the actual graphic that will go into it. I just haven't moved it over yet. Oh, yeah, well, I appreciate that, and it came together from Crunch and Rob getting together, and then I wanted to learn how to do it, and so I started practicing and doing it, and French was like, "Hey, you make pretty good graphics," and I was like, "Well, that's kind of what I do for a living. Is some of that, not all of what I do is that, but some of that is." And so he said, "Well, if you want to help us with graphics, then we'll be more than happy to, code it for you." So that's how it all came about. Is that? But yeah, we use them like you see. I use them every day, and so we just want everybody to be able to enjoy a simulator the way we enjoy it. So we're not out for money. So we just want everybody to have fun flying. So we should start turning left now. And we go direct to Nivy. Direct Nivsy. Execute that. Should start turning in. Airport should be right out there in front of us, as you can kind of see it off the wingtip there. So have to start giving her some thrust. Touchscreen to the backboard. So whenever you buy these Y Maxes, they come with these little like tablet covers is basically kind of what they are, and they mount to that. And then I just basically cut a hole in the back of my panel of my board, and I attached that to the board, screwed the plate to the board, and then I screwed the screws in. So it's basically this black piece is screwed into the board, and then how this mounts to this black piece underneath here, there's a hole cut out, and then I screwed the screws into the back of this panel here. And that's basically kind of how I got it all set up. So all right, we're coming through 3000. We've got the localizer is active, so we'll go ahead and wait for that to start moving. We can go ahead and hit approach. Go ahead and switch over to source. Switch over to the green needles. Approach is armed. Watching our speed. Speed is king whenever you go to land an airplane, even in real life. Right, so we're just below the glide path, just where we want to intercept it, starting to turn inbound. Hopefully we'll get lined up with the runway. Got the runway kind of out in sight. At the outer marker. A little bit too much nose up, so go ahead and disconnect the autopilot here. We're gonna hand flyer in. We'll go full flaps, gear down, nose trim down. All right, we've got 3 green, full flaps, landing lights are on, seat belts are on, cleared for landing. 4,000 to go. Says we've got a 38 knot crosswind over here. Holy cow. Talk about pushing you off the runway. Jeez. Look at this crab angle we've got. Kicking the rudder.
400. 300. Sink rate 200. Pull up 100.
Back to flight idle.
50, 40, 30, 20.
And set her down nice and safely. Speed brakes. First thrusters. Passing through 80 knots. And reverse the thrusters. A little bit of brakes. Clean up the airplane. Flaps are up. Speed brakes are up. And welcome to CLT. Welcome to Charlotte. Made it safely. Get over here off the runway. Take a look at our landing rate. Landing rate was negative 181.
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a
Alright.
safe stop.
So we can go over here. Our landing lights off. Speed brakes are up, flaps are up. And we'll go over to our APU, turn the power on. 2, 3. APU starting. Let's go taxi to the ramp. What do you guys say? Turn our flight directors off. Yeah, that crosswind was thank you, I appreciate that. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. It said 38. The MFD said 38 knot crosswind direct side. Sheesh. So pull in here, and typically, like I normally do, first gate available. Some of these airports that you go into, man, like Chicago, my home airport, man, to talk about a freaking huge airport that has just taxiways galore. And let's go ahead and turn off the taxi light so we don't blind marshaller, even though there is no marshaller. But all right, American Airlines is waiting for us here. So we'll get pulled up here. This will be good. Set our parking brake. Parking brake is set. Go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt signs. And go ahead and pull the engines. Turn off the thrust reversers. We are here. So appreciate you joining the stream. We'll check out the little intro, and I will sign off. So see you guys tomorrow. All right, man.